Hello and welcome to Needful Things Again. Today on Needful Things Again, we'll still be working in our Tunisian crochet. Today we're going to do the beautiful purl stitch. It's not, it's not the prettiest of stitches to me, but it's a very useful stitch. And it also has a little bit of stretch. Here's the back side, front side. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So grab your Tunisian crochet hook. I have my favorite bamboo ones. And there again, teaching you this stitch, we're going to make a slip knot. It doesn't matter how many you chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to do 14 stitches. We have our first one on the hook. Go into the second stitch, pull up our loops. 1, we already have 2 on the hook. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just like most everything we've done so far. Here's our stitches on the hook. So we're going to do a chain 1 on the first stitch. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 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 And so forth all the way to the end of our row. Like so. I might have missed a stitch there. Like so. And now for the purl stitch, what we're going to do is, I learned this a different way, but eventually found out that for me this was the easiest way to do it. I just, you're supposed to back wrap it like that over the hook, and then you're going to go through the bar, under the bar like that on the front, drop it down like that, then yarn over and pull through. And that's a purl stitch. Now, I just put it like that, go under the stitch, let it drop on its own like that, yarn over, pull through. Much easier. Just do it like that, go through the stitch, let it drop down, yarn over, pull through. Then we're to our last stitch. We'll do the same thing we always do. We'll go through both of the loops of the stitch and pull through. And there's our first row of purl stitches. Very pretty stitch. And we're going to do our return pass like we always do. Do a chain stitch in the first row, yarn over, do a chain in our first row, our first stitch, sorry. Yarn over, go through 2, 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 all the way to the end of the row, like we always do on our return pass. And there we are with our row of purl stitches. Now, you can do it like this if you feel more comfortable. Just yarn over backwards like that. I say backwards because it is backwards from what you normally would do. Go under the bar, like that. Pull the loop, pull the yarn down, yarn over, and pull through. For me, it's easier to just grab the yarn, go under the loop, let it drop on its own, yarn over, pull through. So you can do it either way. It's going to be a purl stitch no matter how you do it. My way or that way. I just think the way I do it's a lot easier and quicker. And also, sometimes people tug on their purl stitches a little bit to tighten them up, which I have done that in certain patterns, but you have to be really careful with that because this is not a stitch that you really want to get really, really tight with because it just won't be pretty. And you know, honestly, in knitting, it's one of my least favorite stitches, but it's very necessary. So we're in our last stitch. We're going to pull through our 2 sections. And there we are with our second row done of our purl stitches. We'll do our return pass, as always. Yarn over, do a chain stitch there. Yarn over, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, all the way to the end. Here we are there. Now we're going to start again. Put it back like that. Go under the loop, let it drop. Yarn over, pull it through. Or you can just grab it and go under. When I first started doing the purl stitch, I would almost have to stop and do it with my other hand to pull the yarn backwards. It just seems so weird to me. But once you get going with it and you practice, you'll be doing it probably the way I do it. Sometimes people give it a little tug like that, so it's a tighter stitch, but you have to be careful doing that, like I said, because it will tend to tighten up on you. But if you want it to look more compact, I guess you could tug on it a little bit. I just don't. There's our last stitch. Here's where we are. You know, that's the one thing about that I like about Tunisian is it's all worked from the front side. That's really nice. But it does tend to use more yarn. The back side looks like this. And do our return pass. Now we're going to start our purl stitches again. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first learned this stitch, it took me a minute to get it because I do have a little bit of a learning disability where things can get a little backwards. So it was a little different for me, you know, telling me to, here's the way I've gone all my life this way with the yarn, and all of a sudden I'm going backwards. It was really weird. I had the same experience when I learned the reverse crochet, which I've also heard called the crab stitch, which we will be using on a blanket that I'm doing. And all these will come in handy to make that blanket, so I won't have to teach you the stitches when you're doing that pattern. I'm almost done with it. You'll be able to just do them because you'll have these to practice with. So now we're back to our return pass again. And just like on the previous sample that we did with Tunisian crochet, we're going to bind off on our forward pass, which is here. Here's our sample of purl stitches, sorry. Here's purl stitches right here. Little pearls. And so what we're going to do is we're going to chain one on the first one, and you can do the same thing. You can do a single crochet like this, just pull it through the whole stitch and bind off like that. You can also complete a purl stitch to bind off like that, which is how I'm going to do the purl stitch bind off. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like we're doing a purl stitch, go under the loop, pull it through, and instead of finishing that stitch, we're going to yarn over, not yarn over, we're going to pull that chain all the way through the previous loop. So here we go. We're going to set up like we're doing a purl, yarn it over that way, go under the stitch, pull through your loop, and pull it through the previous loop. That way you're getting rid of a stitch every time, and you're finishing that last row of purl stitches, so it'll be really pretty. So like we're doing a purl stitch, go under the loop, the bar, pull your loop through, and go through the previous loop. This will be your previous loop now. Yarn over, pull your yarn through, go all the way through the loop. And see, you're binding off and leaving a purl stitch on the final row. So we'll go across, binding off our purl stitch, bind off. And I prefer this because I like it to look, you want to complete it with a stitch that sort of matches and looks like that, what it's supposed to look like. Whoops, I think I caught something there. A little knot. Okay, let's do that one again. We're going to pull that through, bind it off, pull up our loop, bind it off, yarn over. Here's our last purl stitch right here. Pull up our loop, pull it through the previous loop, and we're going to go into the last one here. You see, we started with that, we did a chain on that end, so we're just going to pull it through like that, cut our yarn, and secure it off. And this is our purl stitch. So enjoy the purl stitch. Now make sure you practice, because you're going to need all these stitches in the new pattern that I'm doing. So keep on crocheting. I'll see you later.